Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to Thursday's Radio Works Conversations with me, Adrienne Marks, and the awesome, wonderful, amazing Marina Nani. Um, Today we're going on an adventure, but this is a different sort of adventure we're going on today because what we're going to discuss is how we can learn from our teaching and how we can teach from our learning, which sounds very weird, but it's very exciting. I'll give you an example of what I mean. Some of you who have been listening to our weekly radio show will know that a few weeks ago I went off on this wonderful jaunt to Spain for a week, and I volunteered, amongst other people, I wasn't on my own, to teach Spanish people English. And it was a very intense week where we spent all our time with these people, apart from when we were sleeping, of course. And they had to speak English. So it was, I don't know how many hours a day. We started at 9 o'clock when we had breakfast. And at breakfast, we sat at tables of 4, and there'd be 2 English speakers opposite each other and 2 Spanish speakers. So there were 4 people per table, and the Spaniards had to speak English. And then from 10 till 2, we had one-on-ones and group exercises and all sorts of things where we were talking. And then from 2 till 3, we had our lunch. And then from 3 till 5, we had siesta time, so we were free to do what we wanted. And then from 5 right through to 9, we had more group activities or one-to-ones or whatever it was. And then 9 till 10 was dinner. And again, at each meal, we sat with 3 other people, one of whom in my case was English speaking and 2 Spaniards. And we changed around. And I was very lucky because we had some awesome people, mostly business people and people whose understanding and speech of the English language was very, very good indeed. The standard was very, very high. But what I mean about learning when you're teaching, I was there ostensibly to teach them English, but I wasn't like a teacher where I stood at the front of the room and said, right, you need to do this and you need to do that. It was conversation. And the first thing you do when you start talking to somebody is you say to them, when it's a stranger and you don't know them, you say, tell me about you. What do you do? Where do you live? And so conversations would come out. And I learned so much about these amazing people. And that's part of, I know this program's called Me Time, and it is because it's something that we're stepping out of, because we're often in our little comfort zone. We're in our own little bubble, our own little world, and we know the people we know, and we don't talk to strangers. We don't talk to people on subway trains or buses or out in the streets. Sometimes we don't even speak to people in the shops, or we go to, we'll get gas for the car and we do it all at the pump. We don't even have to talk to anybody. We go to a supermarket and now there are, your own sort of checkout, so you don't even have to talk to anybody in the supermarket. So you can spend your life in your little bubble. You work with the same people every single day, so you talk to them and you get on this. If you work in, say like me, you live in London and you work in the city, you get on this metal conveyor thing and you get on it and you stand all crushed up, and then you get whizzed along to this stop, and then you come out and you go into your office and you talk to the people there, and then you do the reverse on the way home of an evening. And then if you've got family, husband, wife, children, whatever, you talk to them in the evening. Maybe sometimes you don't even talk to them in the evening. And that's how your life goes. And it's, and today with technology, we've got, mobile phones where most people spend their lives texting rather than actually talking to people on the phone. You have tablets and laptops, and children sit in front of other boxes with playing with their remote controls and playing games, and they don't connect, they don't communicate with people. And what I'm saying is that by reaching out and talking to people, you learn so much, not just about other people, but about yourself as well, what you're capable of. One of the exercises that we had to do was we had to stand up and we had to do this, like this presentation. And it was very interesting. For me, I hadn't got a problem standing in front of people and talking, because I've never been terribly shy, and I've done acting in my past. But for a lot of people, it was really, really pushing them to their furthest out of their comfort zone they could possibly be. But the feeling of communication, the feeling of connection, and the pride that they felt in themselves, and that we felt when we saw people do it, it was just, and everybody, what I loved about it was everybody was supportive of everybody else. It was just amazing. And I know people in various social things that I do, and people are very, very supportive. And I know that what happens is in the world, and what I call out there, that if you're in a job in a large company, people don't support you. They don't give you that energy, that love, that maybe you feel love is too strong a word, but the feeling of support, that they want you to do well, because it's dog eat dog out there. I don't want her to get that promotion because I want it because I'm better than her. And there's no connection there. You just feel that you're out on your own. And I really believe that when we connect with ourselves, when we give ourselves the gift of me time, then we can see the joy that there is to connect with other people. Because, as I say, when I was in Spain on my literally my last day, and everybody had sort of gone off to do whatever they were doing, and I decided I was in Madrid and I wanted to go out. I wanted to spend my last day being a tourist, and so I went to Toledo, and I got on a train, and it was this beautiful, amazing train, and the whole carriage that I got on was empty, totally empty. Except when I walked down and came to where my seat was, my reserved seat, which was a window seat, there was a young man sitting at the next seat, the aisle seat. And I laughed, and I said to myself, I just sort of laughed, and I said, oh, the whole carriage is empty, but there's somebody sitting next to me, which I thought was very funny. And so it turned out, luckily, he actually spoke English, because it was wonderful. He was from India, and he was in Spain for 3 weeks on business, and he was working with a Spanish company. He'd come over to do some work to show them this program that his company had developed, and he was showing them how to use it. And so he was there in Madrid for 2 weeks, and he was going to Barcelona for 5 days to do some trip. So we just started chatting, and it was so lovely. And I said to him, well, if you're not, he said, oh, somebody in the office had told him that he should go there on the Saturday. And I said, well, somebody told me I should go there today. And the weather was absolutely wonderful. I mean, we had to wear coats. It wasn't hot, but it was beautifully warm and sunny. And so I said to him, well, if you've got nobody to share the day with, I haven't either. Let's spend the day together. And we did. And we had the most amazing time and this wonderful connection. So rather than two people on their own wandering around taking pictures and being tourists, we spent it together. Oh, look at that, oh, look at that, and we shared the experience, and it made it doubly exciting and wonderful. And if you're ever in Spain, Toledo is the most beautiful city, very sort of medieval, little streets, and it was awesome, absolutely wonderful. But what I'm saying is that I learned a lot. I learned a lot from him that day. I learned a lot about Toledo, and I learned a lot about me, about how sharing is so important to us. So it's like the stuff of life. You can't live in your own little bubble. You have to give out. And it's what I always say, when you love yourself, then give out to other people. You can, hug somebody when they need a hug, or, be there for them, because you've got no ulterior motive. You want the best for other people, because that's the way life, because if you want the best for them, they want the best for you. And if they don't, you know what? You don't want to be with those people anyway. But you've got to be with people who make you feel good, who give you strength, who make you feel like your life is worth something, which it is. But it has to start from learning about yourself. And when you give to other people, you forget about yourself. And so you learn so much about yourself. As I say, I learned so much about Spain, and about the Spanish language, and about Spanish people, and recipes, and food. And not only were there Spaniards there from all parts of Spain, but there was a couple there who now live in Uruguay. So I found out about Uruguay. I found out about Australia, because there was an Australian chap there, and so it was amazing, this cross, pollinization of all these wonderful people together, with one sort of aim to help people speak a language, but also to just be with people. And it's such an amazing feeling. And I think sometimes if we live in big cities, that we get very cut off, and we forget that life can be so good. And life's meant to be an adventure. It's not meant to be a struggle. It's meant to be fun. And I think we've talked about it before, and the fact that you could see somebody, a total stranger, on a train, and you could like their shoes, or their hat, or their coat, or something. Say to them, I like that, or when you go to the store and you're buying something, just communicate, just connect with that person and say, oh, isn't it a lovely day? Isn't the weather awful today? Whatever, oh, I think you've got a really lovely smile. Is that coffee really good, or are they just sort of selling it because it's, they've got too much of it in the store? Just make the effort. And because not only will it enrich other people's lives, but it enriches yours, and it makes you realize what a gift life really is. And we have this saying about today is a gift. Tomorrow's gone, you can't do anything about it. Tomorrow's not here, rather, so you can't do anything about it. Yesterday's gone, and you can't do anything about that either. We only have now, and that's why it's called the present. And you have to open it like it's a gift, because it is. It's a total gift for you to explore and to say, you know what, I'm gonna give of myself today. I'm going to be a gift to the world. I'm gonna smile at people. I'm gonna talk to people. I'm gonna make a joke with people. If you live in an office and you've got a sour colleague sitting next to you, tell them, go online, find a joke and tell them a joke in the morning, or just go, oh, I had the most dreadful journey in this morning. Whatever, just communicate with people. Just step out of your comfort zone and share the gift of you, because it is so important. Weeks ago we talked about the clay exterior, and how when you chip away, there's this golden light inside that you can share. It is golden, it is wonderful. And the more you use it, the more you realize how wonderful you are, the better your life will be, and the better you'll be able to help other people and give to other people. It's just so important for life, for for the feelings that you need to have. You know, if the job isn't good, if your relationship isn't good, you know, we've talked about it before. Do something about it. Don't lay on your deathbed and go, I regret. There is nothing worse than regretting things. You know, however old you are, whether you're 20 or 95, it doesn't matter. Don't regret. Just live each and every moment. When you wake up in the morning, go, today is a wonderful day. I choose to make it so. And really do choose that. Choose that gift that you've got inside to connect with the world. And if you're not, you know, if you live on your own and you aren't seeing anybody all day, go out to a shop. You know, just go and talk to somebody. Get on a train, get on a bus, get on, you know, sit in a park. Stop somebody in the street and say, I just need to talk to somebody so I can hear my own voice. Just do that so that you know you're alive, because there's nothing worse than going, oh, poor me, and being the victim and saying, well, I've got nobody around today, or there's nobody here in my life at the moment. Of course there's people in your life. There's the you know, the shopkeeper, the boss, the person at the end of the phone. Phone somebody. Stop texting and just phone somebody, and just use your voice and be the inspiration for other people. Be the love and be the light in their lives, and let them see how wonderful they can be, because it's like little ripples. You know, I'm throwing the stone into the pond and I'm going to be a little ripple, and then you can be, and you'll take it up and you'll be another ripple, and then somebody will take it up from you and there'll be another ripple. And so, you know, if enough people do it, we could go around the world doing it. How wonderful would that be? How amazing would that be? We could change the world a ripple at a time. That would be so awesome to be able to do that. It makes my heart glad to wake up in the morning and see the sunshine, and it makes me unhappy when I see that it's grey and cloudy, because for the time being I live in London and it's cold and dark a lot of the times, but we put our clocks somewhere forward, spring forward, this past weekend, and so it's darker-ish in the mornings, but at the moment it's been a beautiful sunny day here. And you know, it's almost like you can see people sort of get this sort of feeling, you know, sort of, oh, and it's like taking off this big heavy chain armor that they've got on their shoulders from winter. They've stopped sort of hunking down, and they're sort of like walking with a spring in their step, and they're like smiling at people on the train, and you know, smiling in shops and looking at each other as they walk along the street, because the sun's shining and it's wonderful. But you have to do it even when the sun isn't shining, and sometimes that's very difficult, but you have to go out there. You can't just sit in your little bubble and expect the world to come to you, to expect good stuff to come to you. You've got to put it out there. So you've got to start by loving yourself, by being healthy, having energy. Go for a walk. You know, if you hate the gym, go swimming. Swimming's an awesome exercise. But if you don't like doing that, walk. Beautiful parks there are, you know, walk. Come into contact with the world. You know, even if the weather's crummy, go to a shopping mall and walk in the inside. At least there'll be people there and things going on. Look at what your city offers. If, like me, you live in London, then there's masses of stuff to do. Not just mainstream, but there's alternative theatre and comedy and stuff going on in the streets and by the river. There's so much to explore, so much to see. There are groups that you can join to do walks and cooking. Any hobby that you've got, any interest that you've got, you can find a group to do it, a meetup group, and you can meet like-minded people and get to talk to them. Go out on a Sunday lunchtime with friends. If you haven't got any friends, go and find a meetup group and find some friends. But you need to do that. You need to live. You can't sit in your bubble. I keep saying this, but it's true. You have to go out and just explore the world. Just go and see what can be out there. Marina, you haven't said a word.
I so love listening to you, Adrienne. You are a fabulous teacher, and you inspire me, and you inspire our audience. And I know from our listeners that, like myself, they really enjoy listening to you. So I think a good teacher, a great teacher, can truly inspire not only the pupil in front of him, the student sitting on the chair, but I think it's more to it. It's almost like creating a different person with a wild imagination, and making them to fall in love with learning, and this desire to know more, to be more, which is always inspired by teachers. And I remember my childhood. I had amazing teachers. If it's something I'm truly grateful in this lifetime, is all the teachers who touched my life, and made me aware of what is available in the world. And it's not only teaching you a certain class. For example, my geography teacher, her name was Helen. She was absolutely beautiful, and she was very, very kind. And we were keep doing these competitions, and I was keep winning them. And there are different levels, but I was winning the competition because I knew she believed in me, and I was winning not for my own sake, but I was winning to make her proud and pay her back for all the love and trust and everything she invested in her students. And perhaps that's why I love geography so much. And at the time, you weren't allowed to travel when I was a child. So she said to me, you have to keep winning, because one day they are going to send you far away to represent the country, which that happened as well. But it's I remember her telling me that there are so many places, and they keep changing, and maybe by the time you'll get to travel to that place, it is going to be called with a different name, because this is, it's just part of our political reality.
Mhm.
Things change the names, but the beauty of the place is going to be the same. So for example, Italy at some point will become a different country because the borders are moving, or there are so many examples. But while I've been traveling, I got my freedom in the last 3 years, and since I retired and I started traveling, I realized that I still remember her class. I still remember when she was teaching us about South Africa. I still remember when she was teaching us about different places in Canada, and it is vivid in my mind. It was so impactful. It is just impossible to forget.
Mhm.
And it's when I start dreaming because of her, of her teaching. And we had some colleagues of mine. They weren't really um, so much into learning, but yet they were all there when she was teaching. Everybody was just listening. Nobody was playing with anything, no distractions. And because she was passionate about her teaching. And I learned later that actually, even when you leave childhood never leaves you. You are still a child at heart. And like in childhood, when it's normal to have a teacher, and the teacher will inspire you, and you'll discover places, you'll discover new meanings to life. You'll allow your imagination to go wild, and you'll start creating. Same way, when you are an adult, you are the same person. It's just there is no teacher. So that process is broken. So your development, your growing, your inside growing is stopped when you leave school. And then all the, you know, crashing demands kick in, and the learning process, the growing process, is stagnant simply because it's suffocated by all these expectations that society got from you or imposes on you. You have to, by the time you are 20 something, you have to get a job, then you have to, once you leave school, you have to get a job, then you have to get married, then you have to have kids. And it's like uh, an itinerary that you don't plan for it, somebody else planned for it. And then after you reach your retirement age or in your 50s, you realize that in fact you never had time to live your own life. And all you remember, you don't know what happened since you left school till this moment in time, but all you remember are your teachers from school. So, of course, there are some bad teachers out there, but we're not going to mention them. We are thinking of the great teacher who inspire us. And then you start looking, when you get some freedom in your life again, when your children leave home and they have their own families and they start building their own families and their own lives, you get your freedom back and you go back. First thing everybody does, at my age at least, is going back into education, because you are hungry for knowing more, for being more, and you really feel that void who was there in your life and was filled with commitments and mortgages and um, tuition fees for your children. Now it's available again. So you feel like this is my time. I could start learning again. And you take it from where you left it in a sense. So you are still a child at heart. And it's just a matter of finding the right teacher, which is very hard. It's very hard to find somebody with whom you could resonate, somebody who could teach you from exactly where you've been left in a cold. So I really believe that in our situation, Adrienne, because we teach and we learn from, the best way of learning is teaching, you could see actually the power of teaching, and the same way the power of learning, because learning from other people, learning from their struggles, learning from their experiences, and looking into what they're made of, you discover, you learn who these people are, your students, and it's just beautiful. And the more you see how beautiful human nature is and how abundant a person can be without even knowing, the more excited you are as a teacher. So works both ways. You are so right. So when teaching, you have the best chance of learning the best lessons in life, because even we all been through difficult times, and each day is another challenge, but you learn to turn the challenge into an opportunity perhaps. And then by doing that, is an exercise, you do it daily, and eventually you become the opportunity for the people who need to learn how to turn a challenge into an opportunity. So you become the opportunity because you are sharing your own story, you are voicing your message. And it's all about creating better life choices. It's all about understanding your own worth. I was talking to somebody today who was offering me a job as a teacher. And I was thinking that it's really beautiful having that opportunity. And I declined it actually because you see, I want to choose what I teach. I don't want to be told what to teach because it won't be the same. So there are so many things I'm passionate about it, but what I'm passionate about it is truly is your passion. The person who is in front of me got a passion and they don't even know it. And my best time in life is when I, start that journey with this total stranger, a person who, not only that they don't know who they are, but they don't even think they could be somebody else.
Mm.
And that to me is the most gratifying job you could. It's a divine job. So when you feel that person growing in front of you, not because of you, just because they you teach them their worth, they learn their own worth, and in that moment is when the magic happens, when they empower themselves. Because you see, it's all right to be in front of a classroom, like you said, and just be academic about it. And it's a total different structure when you engage with your students, when you make them see what they are not aware they already have. And you can't force them to see that, but you could ask them, what is that you could do right now to change your circumstances? What is that you could do right now to change something you don't like and trade it for something you really, really love and you are passionate about it? So creating better life choices, to me, teaching is all about creating better life choices. And inspiring total strangers is not something that you could put a price on it. Like, we are sharing our own stories and our own thoughts, and we want to empower you, the listener, and we want you to realize how powerful you are. so so it is not about me and you, Adrienne. It's all about our listeners, and it's all about the people who
It's all
we
about
feel we feel they have a song in their heart, a song they never heard, a song they never sang. So it's all a matter of just allowing that song to come out, because like you said, life is too short. But unless you learn me time, the ropes of me time, it's very, very hard, because society is conditioning you and put a stamp on your thinking and on the way you make decisions, or you are afraid of making decisions, is simply because you are afraid of failure. And failure doesn't exist. It's almost failure, not only that doesn't exist, but if you really want to say, oh, this is failure, just replace the word failure with, let's say, unfinished business. It's Edison tried 10,000 times, and he never said I failed. He said I found 10,000 different times of so so
didn't work.
yeah,
But there's
so
thousands
it's
in one.
basically, to me, the definition of learning me time is stop racing and start the journey. Trade the race, the race where you don't have a say, the race where you don't know who you are, you can't even remember what you like, let alone what you love, let alone your passion, simply because it's too much asked from you at every single damn moment in your life, during your other life. It's all about what somebody else wants from you. It's never about what you want from yourself. And it's never about what you have to give. And this is so ridiculous. It's getting to a point where I'm getting, I'm thinking, why? Why people don't realize how much they got and give what, be allowed or allow themselves to give out what they already have, and start creating artificial values. You have to understand, you stand for something. Nobody can tell you who you are. But the first lesson to be learned is to learn your worth. Unless you understand your worth, everybody could, walk all over you. Everybody could tell you what to do, who to be, where to go, where not to go. And it's not fair. It's not fair even on society, because if, somebody could really benefit, is society at large. It's for the greater good. I used to say this, Adrienne, that, the world is a puzzle, and there are missing pieces, and it's not perfect. And I know why. Because every single missing piece is another great talent which was buried alive, or, taking his or her talent to an early grave. And our job as teachers is to transform, to turn these missing pieces into the masterpiece. And the only way you could become the masterpiece is to put the colors on that blank canvas, which is your day, your life,
Yeah.
and just throw with colors. Choose your own colors.
I think, Marina, you've come across so many points, and I've written loads of stuff. I think one of the problems is that a lot of people are in relationships, whether it's a work relationship, whether it's a romantic relationship, whether it's a marriage with children, whatever it is, people have around them, usually a lot of the time, they have people who are very, let's just say they're not very positive. So there's nobody in your corner. There's nobody, there's lots of people listening to us now, and they're going, well, the people I have around me aren't exactly, cheering me from the sidelines. They really, it's just like, oh, you can't do this or you can't do that. And so you end up being very negative yourself, because it's the lowest common denominator, and you just bring yourself down, because in the end you can't fight, you can't beat your head against a brick wall. What you and I do is we're able to show people their gold inside, their potential, their worth, because we believe in them when they don't believe in themselves. I've had it. I've had mentors that have believed in me when I didn't believe in myself. And they said, yeah, you can do it. Yeah, you can do it, because they were cheering me on from the sidelines. And so with somebody else's help, I managed to do stuff. And I think everybody needs that. We all need somebody in our life who says, you can do this, and mean it, and not for any ulterior motive, but want the best for you. And that's what a teacher will do. A teacher will see your great points and your and your flaws as well, but they'll cheer you on. They will support you and love you and be there for you and say, yeah, you can do it, even when you don't think you can do it yourself. And there's a great expression about life is, youth is wasted on the young, and I think that's so true. How many people do I know who wasted their youth, if you like, having a quotes good time, and now are, repenting at leisure. Oh, I should have done this, or I should have done that. But it's not too late, as I say. You can always find that nugget inside. You can always find that gold. But it is difficult to do it on your own. And we both know that. Both Marina and I know that for certain. And what you have to remember is that you can be like a chrysalis, and you're unformed, and you've got all these ideas, but there's no one around to really sort of to be there for you and to show you how it's done. But you can grow into a butterfly. We know you can be that butterfly, because everybody in the world, no matter who they are, and like I say, no matter how old, no matter where you live, whatever you've done in your life, whatever you've not done in your life, you can be that butterfly. You can be that beautiful, awesome, amazing person. You can live to your full potential. And it does start with being aware of what's going on inside, listening to your heart, not listening to what's going on outside, and taking the time, the me time, the space to be quiet and just stop running and just take some time for yourself. Even if it's like 5 minutes in the day when you sit and you go, whew, and you take a deep breath and you think, you go inside and you just listen to your heart. What does my heart really want me to do? What does my heart want me to have for dinner? What does my body want me to have for dinner? What does my body want me to do? Does my body want me to go for a swim, or does my body want me to sit? with my legs up and read a good book? Does my body want me to go for a walk? You know, what does my mind want me to do? What do I really want to do? And when you listen, when you really, really, really still your head and you let yourself just be, because I've said it before, you're a human being, not a human doing. And when you just be, when you just are, and you sit and you just let yourself listen to what's going on inside, stuff will come up and you'll realize that maybe the food you're eating you know is no good for you, and you go, I'm not going to do that anymore. Or maybe, you know, you're in a destructive relationship and it's like, I'm not going to do this anymore because it's not good for me. I have to say enough is enough. And the same in a work situation, whatever it's not making you feel good, just don't do it anymore, because your heart will tell you. Because when you're struggling, it means that you're going against the flow. When you're doing what your heart wants you to do, then everything is, you know, like you said, Marina, it's like this big jigsaw puzzle, and all the pieces just fall into place. It's really smooth. You just get these pieces, and they go, oh look, there's another piece. Oh look, there's another piece. You know, I want this new job. Okay, and suddenly you think, okay, and suddenly, you know, an opportunity appears, or I need to do something, and suddenly from nowhere, you know, they say when the student is ready, the teacher will appear, and it does. And so a book will suddenly appear, or something will happen and make you go, oh yeah, that's right, and it just all the little pieces, and it's not sometimes about the destination. It's about the journey. It's about looking around and, you know, smelling the flowers, waking up and smelling the coffee. And that's what that means. It means taking the time to be real, to not get caught up in, and I know how difficult it is, but not get caught up in this daily whirring hamster wheelie thing that we call, you know, general rat race existence. Pull back and say, I'm not going to do this. I'm going to do the stuff that makes me feel good, that I feel good with, and just do that, so that every day becomes a pleasure. You know, and I'm not saying that every day is going to be perfect, because, you know, life isn't perfect, and stuff does happen that we all have to get over, and we have to deal with it. But you can deal with it in a much less stressed way, because stress, unfortunately, causes all sorts of things: bad health and bad relationships, and it just doesn't make you feel particularly good. You get tired, you get anxious, and you end up doing things that you don't really want to do. But if you're listening to your heart, then you won't do those things anyway. You'll eat what makes you feel good. You'll be with people that make you feel good. You'll do things on a daily basis that make you feel good. And, you know, some people listening to me might be thinking, well, you know, there's no way I can just, you know, drop my job and do something. I'm not asking you to do that. But what I'm saying is, when you see the joy in what you do every day, when you listen to your heart, you can change it round. I think it was last week when I talked about, you know, if you say that, you know, you've got a nice boss, if you say, you know, if everybody's talking bad about your boss, oh, you know, he's mean, he's nasty, he's blah, 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 and you join in all the gossip, then that's how he'll treat you, everybody. But if you don't listen to the gossip and you say to yourself, I've got a really good boss and he really treats me well and things are good, your attitude will change. And I promise you, his attitude will change towards you. And people will start calling you teacher's pet. You know, well, how come she's getting all the good jobs, and how come she's getting a raise and nobody else is? Things start happening. I've said this before, it's magic. It really is. Once you start believing in yourself, and that's one thing us teachers do, we show you how you can believe in yourself, how you are so worth it, how you are so worthy of all the good that's out there. the potential that you've got. You know, if everybody in the world used their full potential, my God, how soon this world would change. And it would be so beautiful. It would be an amazing place. Because you know, this might sound very sort of silly of me, but, you know, I really believe that we wouldn't have awful politicians. I believe that we wouldn't have wars anymore because people will realise that, you know, it's much better to love somebody than it is to fight them. And you can just be. And if everybody was like that, you know, there's no need for racism or sexism or ageism or any of the other isms. Because people are people are people. There are some people that you'll get on with, and there's some people that you won't. You know, there's some people that I get on with and I love dearly. There's some people that I quite like, and there's some people that I'm not over keen on. But you know what? They're probably not over keen on me too, and that's fine. I don't think, you know, it's not a popularity contest. I just want to be happy with the people I'm happy with. I want to live my life to my fullest potential, and it's my passion to be speaking to you every week and to give you not words of wisdom, but to give you my words of experience that can really help you become all I know you can be without knowing any of you. I know that inside you there is so much to give. And as I say, as I started off this whole thing by talking about connecting with people, when you connect with yourself, really connect with who you are, and you're really loving yourself and giving to yourself, then it's so easy to give to the world, to talk to strangers on a bus, to talk to the shopkeeper or the delivery guy or whatever, you know, to be giving this warmth and fun and be this person, and you can change your life and so change the around you, the people who are around you. You can change your circumstances so very easily. But it all begins with me time. It all begins with you looking inside and being still and listening and doing what your heart wants you to do rather than what you've been told to do, what you ought to do, what you should do. You know, you should be a this, you should be a that, an accountant or a whatever it is you've been told, and you've been living your life like, you know, for somebody else, you know, oh, you've got to keep this job because you need more money, because we need the money. I've had that happen to me, and I was so unhappy. You can't do it. You can't live for other people. You have to stand up, you have to man up and just say, you know what, I'm not doing this. I'll do what I want to do when I want to do it, and with whom I want to do it as well. And that's not being selfish, that is being honest and true. And if everybody did that, the world that we know would be so much better. So much better. I can't begin to tell you. My heart just expands thinking about it. The love that I have for every single one of you, and I don't know any of you out there. I just want you to do well. I'm like a mother hen. I just want you all to live to your full potential. Don't waste your time on this earth. It's too precious. Be who you want to be. Be silly. Be funny. Be weird. Just be. Just do what you want to. If you want to skip down the road and sing, do it. You know, if you want to stand at a bus stop and laugh, then do it. If you want to wear crazy clothes, do it. If you want to dance in the rain, do it. But just do it. Just live, because we've only got one life.
Adrienne, we've been talking about this before the show, and I don't know if you don't mind me saying, but we decided that me time is more than Women's Day or Mother's Day or any other day that people celebrate around the world. And it's breaking news. We would like to invite you to celebrate the International Me Time Day.
Yeah.
And like Benjamin Franklin said once, that tell me and I forget, teach me and I remember,
Yeah.
involve me and I learn. I think the best time for us to learn together what me times really means to each one of you, and what me time could really bring into your life, and how can help you create better life choices, is by involving you. So
Absolutely.
we launched the page on Radio Works, Me Time, the inside job with Adrienne Marks. So please send your thoughts. Be part of it. Join great conversations and give us the chance to learn from you, from me and my from me and my thoughts and my love for you and Adrienne Marks. Until next time, it's plenty of me time. Over to you, Adrienne.
Yeah, I just hope that you all run to your computers and send us lots of information about what you'd like to do, how you want us to help you on our International Me Time Day, and that I hope will spread around the world, because I really believe that it's little ripples, and we're going to make a huge difference. So I'm sending you lots of love for a wonderful week. Be still, be, and just be, and just enjoy and be yourself, and have a wonderful week. I'm sending you lots and lots of love. I don't know what else to say now. Bye bye, and I'll see you next week. Bye bye.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
Bye.